Today's video is brought to you by CallRail. They have a voice assist to help answer your calls, and they also have the best way to track your ads. Help your business. Learn more in the link down below. All right, what is up, everybody? What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. In today's video, what's old is new again. We have Fieldpiece's new offering, the analog set from them. So we're gonna open these up. I'm gonna show you what you can get if you decide to go old school. All right, so these are the gauges themselves. Analog, like I said. You do have obviously a huge casing to them, and they are kind of heavy. So this is a redesign. Basically, they went for a more rugged, heavy duty design. You do have the hook back here, so it can flip over and be put away. This is basically the manifold block that you see on their S-Mans. The knobs, you know, they all have that rubber grip on everything, but if you've ever had the S-Mans or tried them out, it's the same block. You're going to be able to pick between two different analog sets between either the 3-port or the 4-port. I have the 4-port here. This one runs you in the $200 range. The 3-port, no matter which one you get, it runs you in the 140-ish range, depending on where you get it. So affordable if you get either one. It just depends, because a 4-port is always going to be more expensive. Now, the reason I got a 4-port is actually what I'm going to be using it for a little bit later on today, is reaching coolers, freezers, refrigeration, maybe some ice machines, where I have a small system that I need to vacuum, and very thin, easy to break service ports that a full vacuum setup with the heavy hose and the core tool won't hold those up. So I'd rather put on just a gauge set with a vacuum hose here that we can pull a vacuum through. Not for bigger systems, because that would take forever, but in a pinch, if you need to, if you get the 4-port, you can run your vacuum through it. Now, these are A2L rated. There is a refrigeration set, which is what I have right now, that has the 404, the 134A, 407C, and 448A. You can also get one that, like I said, that is A2L. It has 410A, 454B, R32, and I think it has another one, but you can get either one. So I do more with this in particular refrigeration work, so I went with the refrigeration analogs, or the version. I don't mind pulling up a PT chart real quick where we can do our conversion. So not a big deal. Even on this one, the only reason on old school analogs I would ever just have to get the 410A version of it or the newer version of it is because the old refrigeration analogs only went up to like 300 PSI. You do not have that issue no matter which one you get. They both go to high. So you got 500 on the low side and 800 on the high side. So I don't have an issue using these for like 410A or any of the newer A2L. So that is basically the Fieldpiece analog in a nutshell. The feature that they added since they went with this design is this little rotating dial at the end, and it goes all the way around and continues to go. That is if you are doing a pressure test. That's another reason people use analogs, is to do their pressure test, right? They can leave this on the unit and walk away, leave it for however long they need to, and when you get back, it doesn't turn off on you or anything. You can just kind of check it. So typically I would take a picture or jot it down, but here, I mean, you can do them for individual pressure. So you fill it up, you mark both sides, and then you just make sure that your needle stayed on the marker, or if you lost pressure. So that is one of the newer features on it, is the little pressure test dial indicator. And I'm gonna pair it with the hoses that they offer here. I prefer the ball valve, so I'm gonna put these together And like I said, I'm gonna go run some calls with them, try them out, see how they do. So one of my favorite things that Fieldpiece does is they offer black hoses. I really have now preferred this style, and then they have the indicators on either side so that when you have them hanging and you want to pick up one specifically, you know which one you're getting. So they have these Fieldpiece labeled ball valves at the end, and these are actually pretty nice. You can close off, and that's very helpful. I prefer these or adapters at the end that are ball valve adapters. That is just my preference, and it makes it easier to hook on and off. And also, to when you remove your high side, you should valve it off and then feed it back through the low side. That way, you know, whatever you weighed out of the tank, none of it is trapped in the manifold. So I prefer ball valves over anything else. Low loss fittings, I think, require more maintenance. The gaskets mess up inside, or you have to rebuild them. So I prefer ball valves, or anything. If you go low loss fitting, that's fine too. But anything that can help you, like I said, empty out your hoses, because these are not short. I mean, there's ounces of refrigerant that gets trapped in there. So make sure you empty out, close off your refrigerant tank, empty out whatever is in that yellow charging hose, and then valve off your high side and make sure you dump back in whatever's in that high side hose. All right, so I've been using these for a while. They've been great. Love the sight glass, love the knobs. I'm so used to it from the S-Mans. Now also, what I had seen is that you can actually swap these out. If you guys are using 5/16 hoses, you can have the hangers or the holders for that. They're silver, kind of like their valve core tool. And side note, I still do use their core tools here, and one of the features that I like on it is that interchangeable piece right there that allows you to hook up to mini splits. This is a 5/16, you can have it a quarter, so you can do the same thing on their manifold here. But personally, what I use it for, you can see right here, mine has 134, 407C, 404A, and 448. So those are the ones that I use the most. You can see it says refrigeration right there. And I like to keep it stock here with the 1/4 inch fittings. And what you can also do is get adapters. So if you guys are dealing with A2Ls, my adapter is the Fieldpiece little hose extension here, which is an adapter, and you got that reverse thread for your A2Ls. So this is what I keep on the van, and if you're curious, that is the packaging right there. So I have a couple of these just in case. And I mean, you can also get just little fittings that go on the very end. And for that, like for most of us that don't do A2Ls every day, but I know some people do, you can actually have the little adapter just on the tank. You know, keep it on there because you don't use it as much. Like in my instance, I'm going to use it like this. And if I need adapters, whether it's the reverse thread A2L or the 5/16, I'll use, you know, something else that I can interchange. All right, so I was curious how these came out. I looked inside, it looked like it was a Allen key right there. So if I put this in, that comes out And like I said, you're able to remove and replace these hangers with 5/16. So that is an option if you guys are interested. And that just takes a 30 seconds to replace. Now I have just a food scale right here. These are hefty. I did mention that you can feel the weight on these things. So if we weigh them here, and this is for the 4-port, they're right around 4 pounds, which is what it's rated for on their website. The 3-port, I believe, is closer to 3 pounds. So that is the weight that comes with heavy duty analogs. Now, what I'm also curious about is one of the main things I was concerned with is obviously they built them to last. It would be very difficult for you to actually break these, but what if you do? On others, you can just remove the analogs by unscrewing them, removing them, and replacing them. This has a whole casing on it, but I do see where it probably does come off. A total of 8 screws on this back plate. It does come off like so. You can see the red and blue. It's usually all yellow, but once you open it up, you can see it does have a ground wire that connects the back plate to the manifold itself. And then if we remove the front here, there is the rest of the analog. So these are basically removable. So you would just need to undo these with a wrench and you'd be able to replace the actual gauges in here in case they ever crack on you, they break, anything like that. And that is just the case that it comes in. So I just wanted to show them in case I didn't get a good shot of that. That makes it, or makes me feel better that you can actually repair these, and that is what is underneath the casing. So definitely feels good. I think it's, you know, hefty, but I feel it's going to be very hard to break this. You have the block that we're used to. The sight glass to me is a must if you guys are charging, recovering. It's nice to see, you know, the liquid going through. Like I said, they got the 3-port, the 4-port, they have the refrigeration version, they have the A2L. You never know. If you have digital or probes or whatever it is, they either have to be recharged or you have to remember to have batteries on your van, which I do. I try to be very good about it, but in the instance where you forget to buy batteries, you forget to charge it, and you don't want to be waiting around to recharge it, plug it in, you still need at least an analog set for a backup. Some people like to use this for older systems or certain systems, or some people just prefer the needle here. So I have just noticed that I have pressure in here. So if you ever need to adjust on analogs, in case you didn't know, you just take out this little plug here. And then you grab a precision screwdriver. You have a little flathead screw right there. And you're able to move this needle around. So if it ever goes out of range, you need to calibrate it back to 0. That's how you would do that. Oh, and if you're like, how would I get superheat on an analog, right? Superheat subcool. They do have, you know, if you have the Fieldpiece meters or a lot of them, they do have a temperature input. So you could just get a K-type clamp, hook it up to your meter, get the differential, then you have your superheat or subcool. This was my faithful thermometer. I forgot what this one is called. That's probably called the ST4, but I don't know if this is the original one I had, but I've always had one of these, and it takes the K-type up on top, so you can get 2 clamps if you need to, get your readings that way, or you can use the ones that it comes with and just tape them to the line set with some electrical tape or whatever. And yeah, K-type clamps that go on your gauges from like the S-bands or anything like that, you can plug them in here and get your reading that way, or buy the clamps separately. So if you have analogs, this is what you would need, one of these to get your superheat subcool. There's different ways to do it. As long as you can get the temperature of the line set itself, you're good to go. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, but also found it helpful if you're looking into getting yourself a analog set, a new one at that, with Fieldpiece coming into the game. Now they did send these out to me for a review, kind of my feedback and what I thought of them in the field. So I've been using them for about a week now. I do really enjoy them. They are very hefty, very rugged. If you want the same tough, rugged quality on your feet, I have to give a shout out and thank our sponsor, Camel City Mill. If you guys haven't heard of them, they are the best socks that you can get. No matter what weather it is outside, these things will keep you nice and comfortable all day long. They also keep you dry with that merino wool blend, and it's padded, it's nice, your feet don't hurt at the end of the day. So check out Camel City Mill socks. I have a link down below. Also use my code and save yourself some money and buy yourself a set of nice socks. If you guys are buying quality tools, quality boots, don't forget to get some quality socks. Now personally, I use these for not all the time. I'm very adamant about guys getting just straight into probes if they can, or going to a digital manifold that can give you a readout that is very accurate and gives you superheat, subcool, everything in one. Yes, you should know how to do the math, but it's not super important. Like, you can understand how the unit works, how the refrigeration cycle works, and you can start with digital probes, any of that stuff. Analogs, for me, are just nice to use sometimes. The needle is not as accurate, but it is in real time, where you might see a safety go off, high pressure, low pressure, and you can kind of catch it a little bit quicker. I've had that instance before, just, talking from experience, where I have my probe set up and I don't see where it cut off. It was too quick. So in that instance, analog can help you out, but for the most part, it's just a nice backup where you don't need batteries, you don't need to charge them. That's always a benefit here, and they're just always ready to go. You can have them in your van all year round, never used, but when you go to reach for them, they're ready to go. So yeah, like I said, startups, I use a manifold. Small reach-ins, I use a manifold. When I'm having to recover, vacuum, and charge, I can do it all while those gauges are hooked up. And like I said, hopefully you found it helpful. If you're in the market, you're obviously kind of maybe found this video because you're looking to buy them. They're cool. I'm going to keep them as a backup. They are, like I said, in that casing, it does make it a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier than traditional older gauges that you might have had or used to. So remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys for watching until the end of the video, and I'll see you guys.